Considering what happened last night, I mean, is this an important day to keep, to come in and tell everybody to stay the way we've continued to do it?
I love you, Christian. You're a man. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Just considering last night the rankings, how important was today to come back in and kind of get the measure of your team?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't just wait to talk about it today. I knew, coming into this week that we'd be ranked high. I didn't know where we'd be, but we talked about that on Monday and move on. I mean, it just is. We've talked about it lots. We've been up there pretty high for. It's not like we just got ranked. We've been ranked all year. What difference does it matter if you're third or one or 7 or 8? When you've played 5 or 6 or 7 games. I mean, we hope to play 15 games. So we're only halfway through, and it's again. I mean, we're not disappointed that we're getting recognition for our program and the type of team that we have. They certainly have earned that, but. It's all about Florida State. I mean, we just like last week was all about NC State. This game isn't any bigger than last week. I mean, if we'd lost last week, then this one wouldn't be as big, would it? So every week is a huge game for us, and this one certainly has a lot of opportunity at stake for both teams, and it's just important that we stay focused on our preparation and what's made us successful. So that's just what we're doing. I mean, it's back to work. I mean, we embrace the opportunity, but I mean, whether you're third in the country or first in the country in 8 with almost half a season to go is totally irrelevant. So, we talk about that, and these guys have a good perspective on it.
Dabo, as y'all get into late October, early November, how much do y'all sort of dial back things in practice to sort of keep their legs and all that?
Well, that's all part of it, and I have a plan every year. Once I kind of see the schedule, we don't just wait and plan once we get to the game. We have a plan, for the season, and you certainly, may have to adapt or adjust a few things based on the makeup of your team, the where they are mentality-wise, injuries, all that type of stuff. You have to, maybe deviate a little bit, but. This time of year, I always try to adjust, on a few things, just to take care of them. I mean, the one thing about this group, you put the ball down, they're going to go. This team will compete, and we've got a good offense and a good defense, and they both have a lot of pride in what they do, and so that's the biggest thing. And our goal is to play 10 straight. That's our goal. So, this time last year, I look back and see kind of where we were practice schedule-wise. And, we had an open date before Wake Forest. And then we had a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They had a little break before we had our last 3 games of the season. So it's not quite the same, whereas, like I said, hopefully we're going to earn another game, and we're going to end up playing 10 straight. So I think, as a coach, you got to be mindful of that. I mean, these are some thoroughbreds, man. They only got so many strides. So being smart with how we practice and take care of these guys is critical. And then they got to do their part. The proper amount of rest, their nutrition, the training room, the weight room. It's all part of it. There's a commitment in every area, so that you can maintain peak performance.
How have they been focused in this week?
Oh, it was great. Great practice. Great Monday, great yesterday, great practice today. Like I said, this has not been a difficult team to get to practice. Practice is not easy, but these guys, they got an excellent spirit to them, and they have all year. We've only had, a small handful of practices where, walk off the practice field and I just, want to go chew some nails or something. I hadn't had many of those. These guys, they like I said, they compete and they take pride in their performance. But more importantly, they believe in our preparation, process that we have. They know that it's necessary, for them to be successful. And so we got a lot of buy-in in that regard.
Have y'all made any personnel changes on the kick coverage unit, or is it just a matter of correcting some poor technique?
Well, it's both. It's more, it really was effort. That's what was disappointing. That particular play was very disappointing. I think we had 2 guys out of 11 get a plus on the play. So, and you got a few guys that's really their number one job, and to see some guys not give the effort, that's something that we can't have that. There's no excuse. Everybody's got a role, and you got to take pride in whatever role you got, and there is no off play. Every play has the potential to be the play that makes the difference in the game. So yeah, we address that, and we'll have a few personnel changes, but just always trying to get better. You never. Give them credit too. They got good players and make good play, but we got to be all in every play, not some plays. And so that's part of our job as coaches, to always correct and teach and demand that things be done a certain way. And so hopefully we'll have that part of it corrected this week.
Was Tankersley limited at all today?
No, he practiced. He did everything.
Okay.
You have guys on this team who are seniors who still haven't won against Florida State. Do you think that gives this team any extra motivation to just break that streak?
I think as a competitor, anytime you hadn't done something, you want to do it. Regardless of who the opponent is, I think as a competitor, you always want to win. When you've not done something, it's definitely something that you want to get done. Certainly from a senior standpoint, they don't want to leave here without having accomplished that. But I think the motivation is not necessarily that. The motivation is, let's keep the train moving. Let's keep the momentum of our season. We all know we got a chance to clinch the division this week. We want to play in the championship. We want to have a chance for bigger goals than 8 wins or 9-0. So they're the next opponent. But every game brings its own circumstances, and in this particular game, that's another little circumstance that they can process in their mind. But that's not what's going to win for us. You can want something all you want. Your actions better align with what you want. That's what's going to win for you. You better be preparing and practicing and doing the things that you need to do to have a chance to be successful. So that's our focus, not anything else.
You talk repeatedly about what Deshawn does well on the field, in the classroom. As a leader, what does he not do so well? Is there anything that he can't do?
I don't think he dances particularly well. He's there's not much he doesn't do well. I don't know yet. I hadn't figured that out. He's been pretty dang good. He makes mistakes like everybody else, but there's really nothing he doesn't do well. He's a great preparer, great in the off season, great in the classroom, great in the meeting rooms, great at practice. There's really nothing that I can say that he doesn't do well. I think he is a complete player in every sense of that word, and he's got a pretty good record going. He's been pretty good, so maybe I'll figure something out one of these days.
Y'all were on him to be more vocal during the offseason. Is that something that's really developed a lot of
Oh yeah, and not necessarily vocal, just pick your spots where you assert yourself a little bit, and be that commander in chief, if you will, when time calls for it. And he's just who he is. You can't change a guy's personality, but he is, like I said, this time last year, that wasn't something he was comfortable with. He's trying to, earn his spurs and prove himself. But as he became the guy and has the respect of everybody on this team, and then they see how he, works in the weight room, in every area, he's just got to take advantage of that opportunity, when it presents itself. And they thrive on him. He just doesn't flinch. And it's not that he doesn't, get frustrated from time to time, but he just is always, all right, let's go, let's learn from it, let's move on. So he's done a great job leading this football team. His relationships with everybody on his team, not just the offensive guys, the defensive guys, is very, very good.
Has either Kelly Bryant or Nick Schuessler separated at all, or is it status quo with backup?
Yeah, we're kind of right where we were, repping them, splitting reps, and as I said a week or so ago, depending on whatever situation we got, we'll make that decision when we need to.
Florida State's got a lot of injuries in multiple positions. Does it make it challenging to find film on enough guys that you don't know enough about?
we know everything about everybody they got on the team. They got, you know, okay, if Dalvin ain't in, they bring number 9 in. You seen him? They're easy to see. I mean, we see them all in recruiting. We know about all these guys. We recruited a bunch of them. They just put the next guy in, and hopefully we're becoming that kind of a team. You know, we had a lot of guys leave. Everybody said we're not going to be any good on defense. I'm pretty good on defense. So, you know, as I told you earlier, them starters might not be very good. You know, it's great to have starters back, but what if they weren't any good? You might not be, you know, so sometimes you have guys leave and the next guy's just as good or better. And that means you're recruiting well. And Florida State is the epitome of that and always has been. We get ready for what they do, because I promise you, whoever they put in there, he's a really good player. So, you know, don't get too excited if somebody's out or whatever. You know, the quarterback's out, next guy goes in and throws for all kind of yards. Running back's out, next guy runs all over. You know, they're Florida State, typical Florida State. Great players everywhere.
You're always very cognizant of history, and this is the first time it's happened since. But Saturday is unique. It's the first time a number 1 ranked Clemson team has played at home. Can you take any pride? Can this team take any pride in that?
As long as it's the first time for the number 1 ranked team to win at home, then we'll take pride in that. You know, that's when we'll take some pride in that. If we become the first ever number 1 ranked team to win at home, then hey, we'll dance and do everything, celebrate. But as far as all that other stuff, that don't matter.
Florida State's talked a lot this week about the atmosphere coming to play. How much of an advantage is it to know that you're going to have a home crowd with you Saturday?
I definitely think it's always an advantage when we play at home. I mean, it doesn't win for us. We played at home 2 years ago, and they drug us up and down the field. So, you know, you got to play well. It only becomes an advantage if you play well. That's what I tell our team all the time. Yeah, it's great to be at home. Our routine's a little different. We don't have to travel, all that stuff. That's a plus. But they don't. If you don't give them something to cheer about, it ain't gonna matter. So you gotta play well regardless of where you are. The beautiful thing about being at home is there's just this energy that's just present when you walk out for pregame. You know, when you go on the road, you better pack that up and bring it with you, because it's just, you know, it's not the same. And so you got 72 guys, and that's all you got. Whereas the home games, we got all of our guys, 100-something guys on the sideline. You got this great energy. Nobody does it better than the pageantry of Clemson. So that's some great juice. But if you don't play well, then it's not an advantage at all.
B.J. Goodson's a guy who got a lot of praise last week. What has he done to really become a leader of this defense?
Become a really good player, a committed guy, very consistent player. You know, he's just you know, a guy that doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's learned how to, you know, study and watch tape and how to pay the price. You know, do what it takes to be a great football player, and he's just become so consistent, you know, in every area. He is a mature, you know, grown young man right now, and he wasn't that way a few years ago. You know, he was kind of up and down. You know, good day today, bad day. He was kind of, you know, just like the weather. He just kind of changed. You know, he's having a bad day today. Well, why? You know, so just the mentality that he has grown into, and the confidence that comes from that. So, you know, his team has a lot of confidence, and he's a really, really good football player. I mean, a really good player. Thank goodness he played a great game last week. We're going to need that from him this week.
The last 24 hours have been like really crazy for all the Clemson fans. Tell us, what do you have to say to them that are really excited?
Well, I'm happy for our fans. I mean, you know, again, we're not disappointed that our brand is you know, out there, and that we're considered one of the best teams in the country. But it's like I told our team. I mean, it's not a shock. I mean, we've been one of the best teams for a long time. You know, we hadn't quite been ranked number 1 at any point. But my goal has never, ever, since I've been the head coach, has never been to be ranked number 1 at some point during the season. That's never been my goal. My goal is to, you know, win championships and be, you know, hopefully ranked number 1 at the end of the season. But, you know, it's good to see our fans be able to take pride in their program and feel good about these guys and what they've done. But and I'm happy in that regard. But we got to keep getting better. We got to keep moving forward, and that's our focus.
y'all spend the entire practice outside, Coach?
We did.
All set.